Same, you got a knee surgery. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're trying to walk again. It's brutal. Chronic pain is brutal. You take a mile every day. I took Dramamine because I'm getting ready to play a video game. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. And migraines sometimes make you sick. After the surgery, did you grow up? Some people increase their height. I haven't measured myself. Really? No, I didn't. I haven't measured myself. I did have decompression in quite a few spots as well. So they decompressed quite a few spots that I felt like. I got so lucky. Trust me. I got so lucky. And I had something else. I had something else that was really bad, but happened in my surgery. That's normally when neurosurgeons see it, they freak out and they're like, oh my God. I guess I was like bleeding around the bone or something, and I forget what that's called. You like bleed around it. But I guess like when that happens, it's like a big deal. Like the neurosurgeons freak the fuck out, but they were like, wow, you just got so lucky that it wasn't more and stuff. It's like when blood develops around and it starts bleeding into your spine or something. I forget what it's called, but it's pretty wild. And that's probably why I had a bag outside of my chest for like fucking so long, where it was just leaking all the fluid, the spinal fluid and shit. The doctors would come in and they'd be like, oh, we just got to check your leaking bag. And I'd be like, bleh, bleh. And then I'd be like sleeping and I'd roll over and the bag would like flop. And it was just like, it was like the grossest thing ever. Like I can't even like, I just had this like terrible, I just had this thing attached to me that was just like, bleh. It was just like fluid coming out of me. It was super gross. Like anytime the nurses, I'm like, please, I can't see it. I'm gonna puke. Like I can't, I'm gonna puke. I can deal with you doing whatever you need to with my arms, poke me however you want, but I'm gonna puke right now if you let me see that shit. I can tell you a funny story about my hospital. Please do tell. Yeah, they were draining it a lot for me. It means your marrow is leaking blood into your system. Yeah, because I was completely crushed. They didn't say broken vertebrae. They said crushed. Oh, hemorrhosis. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I had severe version of that. Yes. Fluid bag similar to waste bag. Dun, dun, dun. No, I didn't go to the adult awards. No, I can't stand up for that long. Thank you, Believe. Thanks, Cadoza. I know. But then also, I just recently started looking up stuff. Oh, you don't want to tell your story now? Now that I put you on the spot? Oh, the nurses played with your ween when you were sick. Oh, you were one of those people that had to get a catheter, right? You had to get a catheter and it made you hard? Is that what it is? Because I asked the nurses when they were giving me a catheter, I was like, yo, do you guys ever get hard when you do this? Because like in porn, I've definitely sounded a guy. It's called sounding, right? And they were like, yeah, some guys do. Yeah, some guys do. I woke up one day paralyzed after being completely healthy. It took 3 days to find a hospital that took me seriously because of how rare it was for my age. Diabolical wench, what did you have? How are you doing now? Chaos. The only time the catheter was sucked is at the end, the last day, the last 2 days, they gave me a catheter that was silicone, and I was begging for them to take it out, but the doctor thought I was just begging for them to take it out because I was like annoyed of it, because I was starting to get to a point where I was like annoyed. So I was trying my best not to be a certain type of way to the medical staff, but when you're in for 3 weeks, you start getting like, you know? So I was like, yo, I need this catheter out. And they were like, no, you can't have it out because you need to be able to pee. And I was like, no, I need it out. It's burning me. And they're like, well, you've had a catheter in for almost 3 weeks. Like, now it's burning you. And I'm like, yeah, something's wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, well, we have to keep pinging for the doctor. And they made me wait 2 more hours while they were like pinging for the doctor. And finally the nurse came in and I was like, I'm going to rip it out if you don't take it out right now. Like, I'm going to rip it out right now if you don't take it out. And then when they took it out, they were like, oh, it's made out of silicone. You're having an allergic reaction. And I was like, yeah, I could have fucking told you guys that. Like, the whole inside of my vajay, like I saw like my urethra and everything looked so swollen. Like, so swollen. Like, it was like turned out, you know? I was like, oh my God, my poor vagina. Like, we've seen some shit, but this is some shit. Like, oh, you know? I'm like, don't damage the one thing I have left. Fuckers. I'm good, Victors. How are you today? Stimulate nerves. I was screaming at the top of my lungs for like 4 hours for them to take it out. Like, why are they so slow at taking catheters out? Like, it's like, we don't care. Like, I don't care if you have to medically keep something in, but if I'm telling you something's bothering me, like, it's bothering me. Yeah. I actually had 2 different doctors in there that I didn't, one doctor that I didn't like that I would deal with for a different doctor and get asked to use a different doctor. Oh, thanks Aries for gifting to Marzi. I love her. I lost my voice for 2 days from screaming. That's like torture. That's torture. So I had like this little ball inside of my catheter. It was like a, so that way it technically couldn't come out. Right? It was like a, I don't know how they do it. They put it inside of you and then it's a balloon. It's a balloon. Yeah. Yeah, like what the fuck? Because I'd be like, oh, it's gonna fall out. And they're like, no, you have a balloon in there. I'm like, what? I'm like, how do I have a balloon in there? Ah, you're a nurse. Okay. Well, fucking bless you for your service, because my nurses are what made my stay bearable. Like, obviously, but I had one nurse that I wish I should go back and get her name, because honestly, she made my whole thing worth it. Like, she gave me a bath and my whole week just went like so much better. She washed my hair and I was just like, you can wash my hair without me moving. Like, you're a fucking godsend. And then just one time I was screaming and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but I was screaming and crying at the same time. It was the first time I sat up after my back surgery, so the pain from sitting up like freaked me out. I literally looked at Cade and was like, I'm never gonna walk again. Like, I believed it. And I was like screaming and I was crying and I was telling her, I'm sorry, I can't stop screaming and crying, but I was just like, ah. And then because I was also so far along in the pregnancy at the time, I was very nauseous. I had dizziness, and then the pain medicine made it worse. Smells made me like freak out. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna puke, on top of crying and screaming. I'm like, bleh, I feel like I'm dizzy. I have acid reflux. And the nurse is like fanning me. And she's like, here, chew on ice. And she's brushing my hair at the same time she's fanning me. And she's like, we just got to give you all the other different types of sensations. And she's like brushing my hair, giving me ice, putting hot packs on my back. And she was training another nurse. And I remember I'm screaming and she's doing all these things at once. And she looks over at the guy and she goes, now this is the type of training you really need to get with. And I was just like, oh, she was like so kind to me. Oh God, yeah, kittens don't bounce. She gave me a nurse's dose. I don't know if that's like an actual thing, but she called it a nurse's dose. Yeah, because I needed Dilaudid and they didn't have any more doses of Dilaudid. And she was like, I'm going to give you a nurse's dose right now. She was like, I don't want you screaming like this anymore. And I was like, you're so fucking the best person ever. Like, just so kind. Yeah, I was like, wow. I cried. I was like, don't leave me. The last day she worked, I didn't want her to leave. A nurse's dose is when they don't waste the extra in the vial. Yeah, it was super kind of her. No, because I had emergency doses, but I think I'd used all of them because at the time they weren't giving me a lot of stuff. Aw, IQ, Dolos, anytime. Well, kittens, I have so much love and stuff for you for being a nurse. Like, really, I wish you guys were paid like millions of dollars. I wish you guys got treated the way you want to be treated every day, because you guys make the hospital stay and you make just being sick so much better, so much better. I really appreciate it. I remember the speech my girlfriend's doctor gave me about everything you got to do to help 24/7. Yeah, I mean, it's a full-time job. It's crazy. Also, the hospital I was at was in the city, so some of my nurses were just really funny because it was an outdated hospital. So they would be like, everything here is ghetto. and then my one nurse comes in because this man kept walking around naked in the emergency room. And she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, this guy just won't get his ding-a-ling and put it away. And I'm like, a ding-a-ling? She's like, yeah, ding-a-ling's running all around the hall. I was cracking up. But like, that's also something she has to deal with. This guy was just like walking around naked. Oh my God. Oh. I worked as a social worker in the Bronx. It was crazy. I could only imagine. Oh my God. I heard him from the other room, like, why do I have to put my pants on? Like yelling. He was yelling back at her, like, why do I have to put my pants on? It was like 4 or 5 times. They're like, please put your pants on. Please put your pants on. I can't wait to do that when I'm 80 plus. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh, it's a no pants party. This is the nurse chat now. We're taking over. They do. They really do. Oh my God. Honestly, I took my pants straight off. Wait, what? Did you go to the hospital and you just got buck ass naked?